Welcome to Week in Geek, your new comic preview for August 24th. I'm Mike Ortiz.
And I'm the Chris Brown.
So, you know the drill.
Well, I'm going to shake it up this week. I'm not going to start with Flashpoint. I'm going to make you wait for Flashpoint. I'm going to start with Chew.
All right.
I like Chew. I thought I had a chance to read it today, and it's good. The story's been good the whole way through. I mean, all the little crumbs that they've been leaving, all the little weirdness, is all building to a bigger story. You've got little arcs, but every little crumb they leave is building to something bigger. I mean, they very much have a plan, and it's fun, and it's a really interesting story, you know, between all the writing in the sky and the fruit that tastes like chicken and possible vampire and all this other weirdness. But I like it. That's a great book, Chew. So Chew 20 out this week. Then we got from Vertigo here, one of our creator-owned books, Scott Snyder. You might as well get Scott Snyder started right away. Yes. So we got American Vampire number 18. It was pretty good.
This is also Eisner nominated.
Yes, best new series. Yeah. This was also fun. This was the end of a story arc. There was that whole thing, the whole war story arc where the one vampire chick's boyfriend had joined the war and kind of ran out on her. You didn't know what was going on, and there's some interesting things that go on here, and it kind of has an ending-ish feel, but I know it's an ongoing and is going to keep going. So I'm wondering where they're going to pick up in the next arc and where.
Yeah, they kind of jump through time on this.
Yeah,
one, don't they? Yeah.
Skinner Sweet's your main character, but it does other things in different, periods of time.
On an interview on the Geek Fights podcast, Scott Snyder said he did have a story that eventually brings it into the present.
Really? Okay.
So that is in the cards potentially.
All right. Interesting. Then we've got Brightest Day Aftermath, Search for Swamp Thing, where next week is Flashpoint 5 and Justice League, and we're going to start getting all these, the new 52. This has been kind of fun. It's basically leading us to where we know we need to get with Swamp Thing so they can do their Swamp Thing series. I did not get to finish this one yet. I don't know if they ended up getting Al Collin. I'm imagining they're going to.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it's going to end up being John Constantine as the Swamp Thing. That would be fun.
Well, that's coming.
But I doubt it.
I was going to buy the Swamp Thing book anyway because Scott Snyder is writing it. But if it was Constantine, that would make it even better.
But I don't think it's going to be.
No. He's in his own Justice League book.
Yeah, exactly. So, you don't want to spread him too thin. He's not Wolverine, people.
That'd be funny. Put Constantine on every team. Seriously, DC, you do that, I will buy all 52 books every month. Put Constantine in all 52 books, and I will be the only one buying all of them every month.
Put him in a Superman costume.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Give him the red underwear, because Superman ain't using it.
Next up, I've got Captain America and Bucky. This book's cool. I like how it goes back in the past and tells fun World War II stories. And art by Chris Samney, who I think is amazing. Yeah. Really good. And it fits this book very well, I think. Fits the Captain America vibe, the World War II. I really dig it.
I actually liked this book more than the regular Captain America book because of the World War II aspect.
Okay.
It's just, there's a ton of books with superheroes fighting supervillains today. It's not a whole lot of people fighting villains during World War II. And that means Nazis.
Yeah. Nazis. Then, you know what? I'm going to wait on this one. I'm going to go ahead and skip to what you've all been expecting. All right, here's Flashpoint. It's, this is it. This is the last group of number 3s. They're finishing up all the miniseries. And then we get Flashpoint 5 next week.
Yeah.
We got Hal Jordan, number 3 this week. I've been enjoying this book. I actually just recently got caught up. The 2 was pretty good. Kind of curious to see how we're going to wrap it up. Again, it's got to do something, and we're going to see what happens in that issue 5 of Flashpoint. Then Kid Flash Lost. I like this book because it takes place in this weird future, and it really feels like you could just read this Kid Flash book and not read anything else, and you're fine. It doesn't really seem to have a lot to do with what's going on. He's in the future, and that one police officer that was working with Barry ever so briefly in the Flash series, she leaves. Well, she ends up becoming what was the name of that character who was riding around on the motorcycle?
I don't know.
No. She ended up becoming that character, and she's in the future, stuck in the future with him, I guess.
Oh, the one that was
Civil War thing. Yeah, she ends up becoming that character.
Yeah. I don't remember his name either, but
Hot Pursuit. Yeah, she becomes Hot Pursuit. Then Lois Lane, The Resistance. I've liked this book so far. We got Grifter in there.
Is that Lois Lane on the cover?
I think
No,
that's got. I don't think that's
I was
Lois
going to
Lane.
say.
In
That's
the
a
weird British
badass
armor.
Lois. Yeah.
I think that's Lois Lane up there.
Okay, that's not nearly as cool.
And that's the Canterbury Cricket or whatever.
All right.
And Grifter and Demon. This book's been pretty cool. I dig it. You know, again, it's introducing Grifter, which I think is fun. I was excited about that in the last issue and excited to see where it goes. Product Superman finally got good. Issue 2 was good.
Yeah.
Issue 1 was boring as hell.
Issue 1 was like a distraction. Like
It was.
Okay, look over here, and we're going to pretend that this is Superman.
Magician's sleight of
But
hand.
it's not. Superman's actually over here.
And who is it? It's supposed to be a character that I think was from one of those Wildstorm books.
Really?
I think that's who that
I
is.
had no
yeah,
idea.
he's one of those guys, I think.
Okay, that makes sense.
All right, then we got FF number 8.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, you know we love Hickman. All about Hickman. And this book's been good. We finally get back. We got through our Inhumans thing last 2 issues. For those who weren't reading all the other cosmic stuff and you didn't know what was going on, he basically recapped it for you in 2 issues. Did what we needed to do, get the Inhumans, you know, out of the whole Kree thing, get them to where they need to be, and now we're back to fighting crazy Reeds.
In 2 issues, Hickman basically undid like 3 years of Annihilation.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did it well, though.
Yeah.
I didn't need the Inhumans wrapped up in that. We're back to fighting the Reeds. Some pretty cool stuff in here. Kind of curious to where it's going. And again, who can you trust when you got a bunch of villains in the room next door?
Countdown to 600
Yep.
actually begins, really.
And it seems like Hickman just has so much story to tell. They're just like, hell, just go ahead and do 2 books.
Yeah, give him 2 books.
So that way he can tell do whatever he needs to do. And I'm fine. Give him 3 Fantastic Four books if he's got enough story for it.
That'd be Fantastic 12.
That would be.
But with Marvel math, it could be like Fantastic 18 or 27 or...
Well, yeah, because as you know, we're going to go up to 12 with
Yeah.
FF. It's going to keep going. Somehow those 12 issues made 600, even though the books are still going.
Mhm.
You know what? Why don't they just start tacking on just books in general? Like, you know what? We're going to take the Deadpool numbering and just attach it to Herc, and then we're going to see where we're at.
You know what they should do? Just restart everything at number 1.
And then when they get wherever they need to be, then it'll be 600. Then I got Next Men number 9. I've been liking this book.
Yeah.
It really it feels like the 90s all over again. It does feel like Next Men.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like this issue was a little heavy-handed. You know, John Burns, I don't know where he's going, but I like it. It is what it is, you know. Honestly, I kind of feel like I did when I was 14 reading this book going, what is he doing? Oh, I like it. It seems like it was bigger than me. This time it doesn't seem bigger than me, but I still have the sentiment of, what the hell's going on? All right. But that's not to say I don't like it. And sometimes I give those, you know, accidental backhanded compliments.
Right.
And comic books sometimes should leave you scratching your head because they are periodical and you'll come back around next
Right.
month.
Sometimes you're supposed to actually think about it.
Yes. Then I got Punisher number 2.
I don't think there's a lot of thinking in this.
Non-Punisher. Well, in Punisher, it's written by Greg Rucka.
Oh, okay.
So Punisher. Frank Castle wasn't even the main character in the first issue. It was some detective, and Punisher was just he was like a silent force of nature throughout the course of the issue. So I'm curious about this one. I liked the first one enough. It felt like crime fiction, which I like. We'll see how long I can hang on a Punisher book. It's not usually very long. And it's not because the book isn't good. It's just I'm not a huge Punisher fan, but I'm willing to give it a shot because it's Greg Rucka. And actually, I am running a promotion this week because Marvel gave me some promo copies of Punisher 2. So what I'm doing is if you buy Punisher number 1 for cover price, no discounts or anything, and this is going to be while supplies last, but if you buy Punisher number 1, if you missed it, I'll give you a copy of Punisher number 2 for free.
Wow.
And that's my stack.
That is. All right. Well, I'm starting off with the Ultimates, the new relaunch of the Ultimate Universe. Now, the cover you see in front of you, I actually can't look at right now because it's in a bag. And Marvel must own a bag company because they're putting a bag on everything these days. It's a cool Captain America cover. I guess some of the issues randomly have Stan Lee signatures,
Right.
which is awesome because Stan Lee has nothing to do with the Ultimate Universe, has nothing to do with the Ultimates.
Right.
But it's Stan Lee, so
just have a random Stanley
so
signature.
why not? So you got Stan sitting around, you got a bunch of poly bags sitting there. Boom.
DC should bag all their number ones and have
Bag
Stan
everything.
Lee sign them.
Yes. Stan Lee sign everything.
It's got nothing to do with anything.
But it's the
But it
beginning.
is written by Jonathan Hickman.
It is Hickman. And, you know, it's funny. I actually have to buy this. I'm kind of morally compelled. Back when they did that ultimatum
Yeah.
thing a while back, and read the second or maybe third relaunch of the Ultimate Universe. I lost count. I remember complaining very loudly that if they're going to relaunch the Ultimate Universe, getting Jeff Loeb and Mark Miller and Brian Michael Bendis to do it was ridiculous. The whole
Right.
point of the Ultimate Universe was to get some new guys with a fresh take and do something different.
Yes.
So I remember saying if they really were serious about relaunching the Ultimate Universe, they would get some new guys like, Jonathan Hickman maybe. And here it is, a year later.
Is it Nick Spencer in that group
Nick
too?
Spencer. So yeah, they actually did kind of realize, hey, we need some fresh blood. Even though Bendis is not a fresh blood, instead they just brought in a new Spider-Man with the old writer.
Right.
Close enough. Hickman's not a new guy at the moment. I mean, he's been around enough, but he's
He's
still
a hot guy.
and he's a new voice.
Yeah.
And you know the segments that
He's
he
a-
wrote for Ultimate Fallout were pretty good. So I'm going to give this a shot. It's Hickman. I will give anything that Hickman writes at least a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Next up is Uncanny X-Force. This continues their adventures in the Age of Apocalypse universe. This has been pretty solid. I mean, I was not a big fan of Age of Apocalypse. I don't remember a lot in here because I only read it the one time when it was like 20 years ago or so. But X-Force is a good book. I really like Rick Remender's writing. That was an as I'm reading it, I'm remembering the characters, and it was kind of an interesting alternate universe take. It's always nice to go back to those sort of things, and I believe if Marvel's teasers are any indication, one of the characters from here is going to come back with them and be. Actually, I think it's
Okay.
Nightcrawler.
Oh,
So-
that's how they fixed the Nightcrawler
That's how they fix
situation?
Nightcrawler. Is they bring Nightcrawler from another dimension, which is interesting because the first time they did this, they brought over
Dark
Beast
Beast and
somebody else.
X-Man.
Yes, who was also back. On a similar topic, we've got X-Men. This is again by Victor Gischler. This is number 16. I really didn't like that 15.1. I think that was
No.
one of the weaker of
And
the .1s.
The weirdest thing about that to me
Yeah.
is that if you look down at the cover here, somehow Doctor Doom looks like Moon Knight.
Yeah. Yeah, so Dr. Moon Knight is in this issue. But, you know, it's
Or
got
Doctor Doom Knight.
Doom Knight. I like that. It's Doctor Doom and Magneto on the cover. They used to be in the old supervillain team-up comic
Yep.
from time to time. So we'll give this a shot. I like Magneto. I love Doctor Doom. Gischler has written, I think, the best of the X-Men.
Yeah.
So even though last issue was a little weak, it was a .1. Maybe I'm just not.
It was
maybe,
the jumping on thing, and maybe you didn't feel any
Yeah.
need to be jumped on.
I jumped on 15 issues earlier. It was kind of a waste for me. Next up, Young Justice. We talk about this every time. This one, actually, this
is
is
not even.
This is not art. This is Kevin Hopps and Greg Weisman, I believe, are
Okay.
writers for the show.
Okay.
So,
and Greg Weisman did the Spectacular Spider-Man, which was very
Okay.
popular, and he also did Gargoyles.
So yeah,
That's where the nerds really got
these
on Greg Weisman.
these guys they know their material then.
Yeah.
But I love this book. Is the cartoon ever coming back? I haven't seen an episode in forever.
Oh, I don't know.
So hopefully it'll come back. It's a great take on these characters, and even though the usual team isn't on this, the art still looks pretty close. But it's a fun book. If you like the cartoon, give it a shot. Next up, Mark Miller, John Romita Jr., Kick-Ass 2, number 3. I really enjoyed the first Kick-Ass quite a bit. It kind of lost it at the end. I actually liked the movie more than the comic.
Right.
Miller is very good when he's not being excessive, but he's usually being excessive. But this is just fantastic, John Romita Jr. and Tom Palmer
yeah.
artwork. This could be no words at all. and I'd buy it.
It's a pretty book. I don't remember what's going on because it never comes out.
That's the other problem. I mean, I always tell myself with Mark Miller books that I'm not going to buy them month to month. I'll wait till it's done and buy the collected edition, and then I just buy the.
You can get hit by a bus before that happens, though.
So if you are dedicated to finishing it all quickly, you might want to wait. But if you want to see some pretty artwork, buy it now. Next up is the prequel to the movie that came out and bombed and is already out of theaters. It's
at the $1.50 show.
Green
so pick it up, head over to the $1.50 show.
Yeah, Green Lantern movie prequel. This is Sinestro. This one was written by Jeff Johns,
What
actually.
took that thing so long?
Well, I think there were some issues with the art. Jerry Ordway had to come in at the end.
Okay.
Who knows? I know this was delayed quite a bit, but I don't care. It's a Green Lantern book. It's Jeff Johns, it's Jerry Ordway. Sinestro is my favorite part of the Green Lantern movie, so this will probably be the best of the prequel so far. Sticking with the green coloration, we got the last issue of Green Lantern Emerald Warriors. It's Guy Gardner and Batman.
All right,
One punch. I don't know if any of you remember that. But yeah, Batman and Guy Gardner. Batman doesn't like Green Lanterns in general, and I think he dislikes
really doesn't
Guy Gardner the most. So this has the potential for a lot of fun. It looks like Pete Tomasi and it says Friends. Is this Ron Friends?
I think so.
Wow. Okay. Well, Pete
Who else
Tomasi
would it
and
be?
Ron Friends, John Dell, Batman, Guy Gardner. That sounds like a winning combination across the board to me. Next up is, I believe, is this the last issue until reboot of
Should be.
Batman? Yep. Batman Incorporated. I've enjoyed this book all along. Grant Morrison's take, the Batman of the world. This one apparently is a digital Batman. You know, the Batman that patrols the internet, perhaps. I don't know exactly how that's going to work. Well, it looks like some crazy-ass artwork there. So
There was a digital Batman story that came out in the 90s that was horrible.
Maybe they went back to that Batman.
God, it was like this digital Joker, and all the art was done.
Digital Justice.
Is that what it
That
was?
was it, yeah. Pepe Moreno, I think.
Awful.
Yeah, that was one of the very first of the computer-generated comics a long time ago. Not a good comic, but hopefully this will be a little bit better. Look, oh yeah, this is all some digitally generated artwork. So, not a big fan of that necessarily, but you know what the hell, I am a big fan of Grant Morrison, and this has been a solid book. This is the last issue before reboot, and it's actually not coming back with a #1 until 2012.
Okay.
Then it's our old pal Scott Snyder again with Batman Gates of Gotham. You know, I was a little
Heard
behind
lots
on
of good
this.
things.
I finally got caught up. This is a fantastic book. This has just been a great book. Jumping between the time periods has been fantastic. There's a mystery. It gives you a little bit of information about Gotham's past that I think is going to play out in the new Batman book. Snyder's talking a lot about Gotham being almost kind of a character, and that Gotham, Batman may have kind of misread Gotham. That Gotham he doesn't really own Gotham the way that he thinks, and Gotham may be letting him know that in the future, something like that. But anyway, it's a good book. The artwork is pretty solid. It's kind of a strange, not cartoony style. It's not a real hyper-realistic style, but it really fits because you know so much of this takes place in the 1800s when they're actually building Gotham with the Wayne family, the Cobblepot family, and the Elliot, who was the ancestors
And
of Hush.
clearly Batman was jumping through time at that point, so shouldn't he be in there?
This is the Dick Grayson Batman, actually.
Oh,
I think this may actually...
wasn't Bruce back in time then when they were building Wayne Manor? So he should have been there.
Maybe he's the... You know, I wouldn't be surprised if he's like in a panel somewhere. I'll have to go back and check that out. But that is my stack.
All right, well, I guess that brings me to my top pick here.
Mm-hmm.
My top pick this week is it's feeling like old times again. You know, it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is back. We got a #1 from IDW. The story is done by Kevin Eastman. Mm-hmm. He didn't write the script, but Kevin Eastman and Tom Waltz. Tom Waltz writes the script. Kevin Eastman rather did the layouts. It's a complete reboot of the Ninja Turtles. Mm-hmm. I kind of liked it. I mean, they're reintroducing you to a bunch of people you already know. There's mention of Baxter Stockman's in there, and there's mention of General Krang, but you just see him in shadow. So I don't know what they're doing with that. You know, if it is in fact going to be a weird little alien brain-looking dude, or what the deal is. But yeah, everybody's here. It's a completely different take on how it is that the Turtles and Splinter come to be, though. You know, you'll see. I don't want to spoil your fun, but I liked it so far. I'm curious to see where it's going. I wasn't sure in the beginning if I wanted a continuation of the previous Ninja Turtles, because I was wondering about that when I sat down to read it. It's like, is it going to come off of all the stuff we've seen before? What are they going to do? It's a complete reboot, and I think that's okay. I mean, I'll get to re-know the Turtles all over again.
Cool.
And it's not a reboot in the way that, Eric Larson totally screwed the Turtles in the late 90s, making Donatello a cyborg, and I think Leonardo was a bat. Do you remember that? Like, he was trying to continue from, like, they had the legacy of the stuff before, and then he went so off the deep end that it was like suddenly it didn't exist. It just dropped into a sinkhole and was gone, and no one talks about it.
The Ninja Turtles of Earth 2 or something?
Yeah, it was awful. But this is pretty good, so give it a shot.
So, yeah, DC's not the only one rebooting everything, I guess. Well, my top, you may have noticed something missing this week, the retroactive banner. And my top pick is the DC retroactive books. These are the last retroactive books. Like with the Flashpoint books, they time this to end right before the relaunch happens. So it starts off with DC retroactive Superman. And this is written by Louise Simonson with art by John Bogdanove. It looks like a Lex Luthor Superman or a Superman that's just bald. Can't tell. I guess I'll find out when I read it. This is the team that did Superman Man of Steel for such a long time. So again, actual creative team who worked on the book. Man of Steel was probably my least favorite of the Superman books from the time, but hey, it's a retro, it's a throwback, so it's a lot of fun. Next up is the Green Lantern retroactive from the 90s. This is by Ron Mars, Daryl Banks, and Terry Austin. This was actually the team that brought us Kyle Rayner. This is a Kyle Rayner issue. I love Kyle Rayner. I really liked the book a lot during the 90s. That's when I became a Green Lantern fan. I actually have a piece of original artwork from that run by Daryl Banks and Terry Austin.
Oh, nice.
So it's a great art team. Ron Mars, he caught a lot of crap for what happened to Hal Jordan. None of it was his fault. But I thought he did a great job with Kyle. And this is actually back, when Kyle has the crab mask, before he becomes Ion and gets the weird Jim Lee dog collar or whatever. So this is really the 90s Green Lantern that I remember. It's got the old logo, so I think this is going to be a blast. And the best of the bunch, Justice League America, Keith Giffen, J.M. DeMatteis, Kevin Maguire, the Bwahaha Justice League.
That's going to be fun.
Back together again. As far as I'm concerned, this is the best Justice League ever. Even better than Grant Morrison's. Morrison was great stuff, but this was just, no one expected a book that could be a superhero book that could be funny, and then every once in a while they could remind you that these guys know some serious drama and horror, and it was just a great book. This is really one of the best books of that era. Strangely, I think to me it should have been an 80s, because that book launched like in 88, but it went on for a few years.
Right.
I think they wanted to do Justice League Detroit, so they moved this one to the 90s. Because of that, we'll forgive them, because it was good to see Justice League Detroit again. So anyway, DC Retroactive, that's my top pick. I hope these sold really well. I'd like to see DC do more like these, make it an annual thing.
Yeah, and a really neat idea.
A lot of fun, although quite honestly, I could go with not reprinting an old issue in the back, because out of these 9, I think I've had 7 of the reprinted issues already. So I don't need it again. Just let me pay $2.99 for the one story, but I'll pay $4.99 for both if I have to.
Well, and you do.
Yeah, I do.
So.
A couple other things to point out this week, some stuff that came out that looks pretty good. We've got, first of all, JLA Heaven's Ladder. I always sing the praises of these DC Comics Presents. Yeah. This was a Mark Waid, Brian Hitch tabloid size.
Yeah.
Now, the artwork looked fantastic. It's a great book. If you missed it that time, pick this up, because this was a great Justice League story. I mean, it was the art, and the artwork probably looks even crazier detailed at this small size. I also want to point out Superman Beyond #1 if you're a big fan of Batman Beyond. This is
Cover looks
the
interesting.
Superman character in that storyline. I don't know. I think they're going to go on hiatus for the reboot and come back. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work. But I love the Batman Beyond stuff. I haven't picked up the book just because I really love the cartoon, and a lot of times that type of stuff doesn't really play out for me. But if you dug the cartoon, you really want to give it a shot. It's out this week also.
Right, and that's about, we got new Kevin Smith, Bionic Man.
Oh, Bionic Man.
And we got Warehouse 13 by Dynamite.
Oh, interesting. Well, great show. Both great
It is
shows.
a great show. Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see if those are any good.
This is a good week for adaptations.
So with that, I believe is your Week in Geek. But stick around because we have yet another guest here after the break.
We're turning into a real show.
The second half of Week in Geek, I have with me Dennis Barger from Wonderworld Comics.
How you doing, Chris?
How are you, sir?
Very good.
There's been a lot of talk this last few days and over the weekend about Comixology released their terms for digital downloads with DC. And the comics community, the retailer community, got frustrated.
Yeah.
Very upset with good reason. And the Detroit community is also very upset. So I thought I would take it upon myself to invite on the biggest mouth within the Detroit area. And let's have a little conversation about this.
Yeah.
The retailers are mad, and it's time we let them know we're mad.
Yeah, we're mad as
here
hell
we
and
are.
we're not going to take it anymore.
You got it.
I look at it this way. They announced the terms this week, and I call it the terms of surrender. And, I really look at it as they're asking us to surrender the one thing that we have, which is the customers that come into our stores. We have, taken care of our customers. Every good store that has a steady customer base and pull service, they know their customers' needs, and they want those customers from us. And they don't want to give them the same needs and desires. They want to throw a bunch of stuff up on a website and say, hey, click this. Well, and they just want their money.
Do we tell them really quickly what all these terms are here?
Yeah, we should. The big one is, and it's not a greed issue, but the first big one that kind of bugs everybody is 15% referral. Now, this is for a comic book that has no printing cost into it, that we as retailers have already invested money into to put it on our shelves.
Correct.
And now, if we sell that comic book, we make a much higher percentage of profit. Now they're saying, if you take that same book, but we don't have to print it, and you help us sell it to your customers, we're going to give you 15%, which on a $2.99 comic book is about 45 cents.
We get 15%, and in the meantime, there is no break. Now, we wanted them to sell the book at the same cost as the paper copy.
Yeah, we
but
want that.
When our pull customers walk in, a lot of us, and I know you do, and I do, we offer our regulars a discount.
Right.
There is no discount to be had
No.
for people buying digital comics.
Yeah, you'll be paying $2.90. If you buy it from me, you pay $2.99. You bought it from Chris, you pay $2.99. You buy it from the website, you're paying $2.99.
But you walk through our door, you're getting whatever discount it is that we're offering you now.
Right.
And that's what it is. It's basically it's Reagan and his trickle down economics. It's stopping everything up at the top, and that's exactly what they're DC and Comixology are pulling a Mr. Burns.
Yeah.
Homer asks, "But Mr. Burns, you're the richest person on the planet." Why, yes, but I'd trade it all for a little more. and that's what they want to do. They're only going to give us 15%. It's pretty bad, and there's no benefit to the retailer. There's no benefit to you, the consumer.
No.
The other one, the big one for me
is... you paid $2.99 for a comic that you can only read on your pad or your phone, or your laptop. You can't ever get that in a hard form, ever.
Correct. There's no collectability. You can't loan it to your friends.
Yeah.
There's none of that involved. The thing that gets me is they then want all of the referrals that we give to them, they keep our customer database.
Right. And then
they want our customer information so they can aggressively approach them. Who in business anywhere would give them their customer database on top of the fact of, this is like a no-call list. I mean, when you sign up for an offer, do you want people calling you at home and taking all of your personal information? That's what this website is now going to do. They want to come after you and aggressively market to you.
Let's just say you run out of... Let's just say we're retailers who are like, digital's awesome. We want to stick the knife in our back and twist it. Awesome. Okay, so we do our little digital storefront, and let's just say this week, Action Comics 904 comes out, and we sell out of it. It's a great book. I already read it this morning. It's a great book. So we sell out of it, and then somebody comes in, dude, I just want to read it. Oh, and you're like, hey, Go to my website, click the thing for $2.99. You're going to be able to get that. And then next week, dude, we'll have 904. You can buy it in person. Hey, I made 15% off it. I'll even give you 50 cents off of this when you buy it next week. Whatever it is, we're putting somebody into that. Now all of a sudden, they type in johnsmith@gmail.com. They pay the $2.99, give them their credit card information. Okay, cool. They're reading Action 904. They realize it's as good as we realized it, and all the other customers who gobbled it up realized it. Okay, awesome. Another week comes by. He comes into the store and he's like, "Oh, cool. I got all my pulls normally. You got every book I got. That one fluke." And then also he gets an email. "Dear John Smith, we saw that you liked Action Comics 904. Would you like to buy Action Comics 905? Here's a link straight to it. Not a link to Chris Brown's Comic and More, but a link to Comixology.com. Oh, wait a second. So we traded earning 45 cents to get our customer, John Smith, to read this comic book online so that you could now steal John Smith and try to solicit him comics later. And cut us out of that big, massive 45 cents that you were offering us.
And at the end of the day, they're not doing anything to benefit the consumer and the end user either.
Right.
And while this is a frustrating endeavor for retailers, and it's the distributors and the publishers they're just looking at a way to make more money. This has no benefit. No one has asked you guys. Ultimately, what do you guys want? Those of you who are coming in the store, you want paper comics. What's going to happen when they slowly start to get rid of, what was that shop in Phoenix?
Atomic Comics.
Atomic Comics
4
is gone.
locations over 20 years. I've been going to that store for 20 years when I go out to Phoenix.
What do you do when you lose your comic shop? And that's what's slowly going to happen. Your fortress of solitude. The guy that you always go to talk comic books, what's going to happen when they go away? And the publishers don't care.
No.
They don't care in any way, shape, or form.
Because they want to save that buck cost of printing that comic book. I mean, I understand that.
It's
but
a business,
you know what?
that's fine, but there's a little bit more in this business.
No
It's
one is going to
entertainment.
make a $200 million movie off the #1 downloaded comic book this month. No one.
Right.
And that's what it comes to. The fact that the fans come in here weekly to pick up Spider-Man is the reason they're going to put $200 million into making a new Spider-Man movie.
I love God Hates Astronauts, and I know it did well online.
Yep.
I don't know that anybody's knocking Ryan Brown's door down, although they should be. I would love to see that as a movie.
Well, yeah, PvP. I'm sorry, PvP. Where's that PvP movie? #1 free comic book on the internet. And I haven't seen that movie yet.
Because they're not seeing
Okay, but here's a better thing about that 45 cents that we earned. Did you hear about this?
What's that now?
Okay, well, September 1st when Justice League comes out, and we tell our customers, hey, go online and, once again, we're the retailers who love digital comics. And we tell our customers, hey, go on and download it online. And we get 45 cents, so thanks a lot. Make sure you go to our website because we get 45 cents. Now, you know when you get that 45 cents? Did you hear about that?
No.
Oh, no, this is awesome. See, we get our customers the whole month of September to go download these comic books and we get 45 cents. So let's just say we get $90 worth of customers. We get 200 people is that 200? Yeah, I think
you
so.
don't get anything until you reach 100.
Yeah,
It's a month
exactly.
later, isn't it?
No, it's 45 days from the end of the month. So 45 days from the end of the 30-day month, we will get that coveted 45 cents. Now, if we don't make $100, or more importantly, we don't make them $660, for sending the customers to them, we don't get that money even 75 days later. We have to wait until the month of October and then hopefully push more of our customers into that. So basically, we became a slave to a digital company that has a couple handful employees, and guess what? Then we have to end up laying off our employees because we're now just a shill for 15% of the back end of sending our customers there.
Well, and the other thing that you're not allowed to talk about your numbers.
Oh yeah, a non-disclosure agreement. Even if we were doing, let's just say we're the most profitable comic book shop.
We're not allowed to have
digital.
this discussion right now.
I can't say, Chris, dude, I made $1,000 last month doing Comixology. You should totally sign on. And Chris is like, oh, dude, I totally went. Oh, I'm sorry, I signed a non-disclosure. But no, Dennis, tell me how you're doing on Comixology.
Now, here's the thing. If you were doing that well, wouldn't they want you to tell the other retailers how great you're doing?
You would
But they know you're not going to do that well, so they don't want anybody to tell you. They don't want you to tell anybody how bad you're doing.
Oh, but they can tell whoever they want.
Bad news travels faster than good, and that's
Exactly.
a rule of advertising. That's just how it works.
They can tell whoever they want, though. They could literally Go to Newsarama and say, hey, Chris Brown over at Comics and More, he did $1,000 in digital comics
they
last
can
month.
promote-
And Dennis over at Wonderworld, he made $2,000.
They can say whatever they want,
They can
but
say
we
whatever.
can't say
We can't say a
anything.
word.
And also, the thing that gets me is you cannot participate in any class action lawsuit that may arise, which means they know what they're doing is not above board.
Right.
And this is basically through the course of this discussion. What I want people to know is Comixology is being very, very shifty, along with DC. I mean, someone came up with these terms.
DC told us back in March, hey, we're going to use Comixology for doing our digital. Then when they announced the 52, they're like, we're going to do same day digital downloads, and you'll be able to sell them through your store's website, and we're going to give you an extra % for selling them through your store's website. We're all sitting here on, how much of a percent? You know, Bob Wayne, how much? How much are you going to give us? Oh, cool. And then all of a sudden it's just like, no word from DC. Comixology lays these terms out, and we're like, wait a second, this is who you want us to deal with? These guys who are saying you can't sue us, you get your money 75 days after you earned it, maybe, you know, you can't tell anybody about it, even if it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, you know, you can't do any of this. And you're the better part. Oh, I forgot about it.
The website
You gotta. Oh, look at that big Comics and More website sign back there. If you want to sell digital comics, you have to make a Comixology banner to put as the same size as that big Comics and More website up on your back wall. Okay.
Yep.
So all of a sudden, it's no longer Chris Brown's Comics and More. No, it's Chris Brown's Comics and More Comixology. You know, wait a second.
Yep.
If you're just trying to get my customers to go in there, and you're off busy trying to get new customers, why do I have to put your web store up there? That's my wall. I pay for that wall. You're not paying me for that wall. You're not paying me for a single square inch of this place.
It's a really big swerve that they're coming in and just trying to take over, and they're not offering very good terms.
No.
They're not even being nice about it at all.
No.
I mean, they're being complete bullies.
Yeah.
I wish there was a way. Was there?
By the way, this is coming out in 2 weeks. Sign this thing so you can be on board.
I wish there was a way to know exactly which of our customers have taken the Comixology app off of their phones and off of their computers.
I've personally
'Cause
watched
I would
5
give you-
people take it off.
But unfortunately, you don't know if they're going to give it back. But I'll tell you what, anybody that comes in my store and you take that Comixology app off of your phone, I'll give you a 15% discount on your purchase that day.
You know
right
what?
there.
I'm going to beat you because I have a feeling that I'm going to have a whole bunch of extra DC comics starting in September. I think I'm going to figure out a way that if you delete it right there, don't send them, by the way, do not send them an angry email saying you're trying to kill, because all they want is your email address. So do not send them an angry email.
Just take it off your phone.
Just take it off their phone.
What are you going to do? This is what...
I think I'm going to actually give a free DC comic to everybody who a free actual DC comic to everyone who walks in and kills their Comixology app off of their iPad or off of their iPhone.
That sounds good.
I think I'm gonna have a whole bunch of too many DC comics, so I think I'm gonna put those to good use by striking a blow at Comixology.
There you go. And again, if we're frustrated with Comixology, and we're asking you to kind of do this in support of your comic store and in support of your retailer, because we do care about you guys.
Well,
I really don't want this to sound like it's all about money, but it is. It's about livelihood, and I don't like the fact that they're coming in and trying to bully us and take our livelihood. And we are loyal to you guys, the customers. We want to make sure that you're taken care of at the end of the day. And just kind of asking this as a favor, will you stand with us? Will you stand shoulder to shoulder with the retailers of Detroit and Dennis and I, and pull that Comixology off your phone? Because again, if you do, I'm willing to offer you a 15% for sure.
Yeah.
And that's building up to if you do it tomorrow, I'll knock 15% off, no problem.
Yeah.
You know what? If you're already getting a discount from me. My customers that already get a discount
we're
from me.
one up each other.
No. I'm just trying to make it cool for them.
No, exactly.
So if you already get a discount from me, I'll make it 10% on top of that 20 that I'm already giving you.
Really?
If you do that this week and you kill it, I'll go ahead and do that. Because I want to see us standing strong together.
Yeah.
And I want my customers that are already getting a discount. I want to make something
to help them.
useful for them.
Right, exactly. So. I want to add one more thing. That the one way to help stand together is I started a Facebook page.
Yes.
Comic retailers not signing up to do Comixology or iVerse. Now you can go that you just type in comic retailers and Comixology. So you'll be able to find it on Facebook. Join that. We've got a lot of people on there already. I think there's already about 5 or 6 of the Detroit retailers are already on board.
Absolutely.
Brian's on board on that site.
Okay.
Rich, Brian from Detroit Comics.
Yep.
Rich Nelson. Bob Smithers from Comic City. Rich Nelson from Fun for All. I think Dan and Katie over at Green Brain joined up. So we're already starting to build the solidarity from the Detroit out. And just go to that site and join that. And we'll put these offers up. On the site so that
Sounds
we can
good.
let all the people.
And if
our
any of the
customers
other
know.
retailers want to offer something to their customers, go right ahead.
But
let's stand strong together on this.
We have to stand now because this is the first shot across the bow. This is Comixology saying this is how little we care about you, the retailer. You are just standing in our way. And I was telling you about this last week. That quote from Mark Waid.
Yes.
Did you ever get a chance to go online?
I haven't had a chance to look at it yet.
Basically, Mark Waid. Now he hems and haws a little bit. He repeats it 2 or 3 times, but he goes, "I don't want to feel this way, but I feel like this is." His quote is, "I feel that the industry is being held hostage by 2,000 retailers," and I was just floored that this is Mark Waid. You know, the former editor-in-chief of Boom. One of the top guys at DC Comics, and he's even got this in his mind to think this. He does paraphrase it. He does paraphrase. I don't want to feel that way, but this is the way I feel. You know, so if you can find that video and link to it.
The only group of people who should have the power to hold this industry hostage is you,
the
end consumer.
Exactly.
It's your money. At the end of the day, it's your money, and you get to decide what you're going to do with it.
And you guys vote with it every week. You're the only kind of barometer that we actually have. You can read Newsarama and Bleeding Cool and think what's going to be hot, but unless you come in and buy it, you just voted with your dollars. And then if you buy it, we order more. You know, I know you had a big success with Day Trippers.
Absolutely.
That didn't sell well at my store until you told me, dude, you got to push it. And then I started telling people, and then everybody was
people
like,
loved it, didn't
people
they?
loved it. And guess what? Then it wins a Harvey and Eisner, and you know, and now it's up for a Shell Dorf Award. So you know, you look at something like that, and you're like, you voted for that. You know, and guess what? You can vote no on this and let us know, hey, guys, I'm with you. I'm downloading my comics. I'm killing my Comixology app. You know, I want to support you guys. And then on top of that, you know, hey, this book was good, but hey, I don't think I'm going to read this other book. Make sure you down your orders. Tell us to down our orders so that we can be as streamlined on our ordering as possible, because we don't want to eat these DC books if it falls flat on its face, you know, like it possibly could.
I was in complete support of it, you know, until this weekend.
I was totally on board. I went to the road show. Dan DiDio and Bob Wayne totally convinced me to jump on board. But after hearing these terms of surrender, you know, I mean, Hirohito got a better deal of surrender than we're getting right now from Comixology and possibly DC.
I own a comic book store because I love this business.
Yeah.
I've been doing it. I was started like being an assistant manager in this comic book store when I was 16.
Yeah.
I went on and was an assistant manager at a store in East Lansing. I've been doing this over half my life. I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't love it.
Yeah.
And so to be accused of holding hostage and now watching the what I thought was my partner try and take that away from us.
Yeah.
You can try and kill my business. Please don't kill my fun.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not going to let you kill my business either. We will not surrender.
No, we will
We're going
not.
to stand strong. And
Exactly.
again, here are two retailers standing shoulder to shoulder on this.
And I mean, and retailers are notorious for like slitting each other's throats to save a nickel or to make another dollar. You know,
But
and
the
fact
retailers
that
of Detroit
retailers
talk
are gonna,
to each other.
We do, and we're going to stand strong together, and we're going to last this out. And if you know what, if the customers don't like this new 52 and they stop ordering, we'll down our orders.
Yeah.
We'll sell Marvel and Image, and I guarantee I'll still sell Image as long as Image is still printing. I'm still going to be selling
Absolutely.
Image. You know, IDW is one of our better sellers right now. You know, I'm going to be selling IDW long past Marvel and DC have decided that digital is the way to go and printing is bad. Okay? But we're still going to be there because our customers are there.
Yep.
And as long as our customers support us, we're going to be there supporting them.
Absolutely. And you tell us. You tell us what's on your mind and what you're buying and what you're thinking.
Detroit retailers, united.
And that is your Week in Geek.